I am Lorinda Lennon, and I started the DYL Method. Now I lost track. That's crazy. I believe I'm on my 11th week now. So the way I learned about the DYL Method was earlier this year, around April or so. I was having some medical issues. I pretty much was in denial because I knew that my glucose levels weren't right and my blood pressure wasn't right. I was getting not chest pains, but my heart was racing a little bit at times. So I knew my anxiety had been off the chain because my heart rate kept going up. I was very stressed at work, and I just had other life stressors going on. So all these different things are going on and attacking my body at the same time, attacking my mind. I was losing sleep. So sometimes I'd be a little cranky, and I'm not normally a moody person. I'm usually very bubbly. So I haven't been my bubbly self probably in about a year and a half or so. But things really came to a head this April, like I said, when I started getting diabetes symptoms, or symptoms that are usually associated with diabetes. I had excessive thirst, very low energy. I kept gaining weight. And even when I did try to eat right and exercise, I couldn't keep the weight off. I had multiple joint swellings and a lot of excruciating pain, particularly in my fingers, my knees, and my ankles kept kind of popping and swelling up as well. What didn't hurt? Let me see. I also had carpal tunnel in both hands and wrists that kept recurring, but it became progressively worse right around that time, between February and April of this year. So once I went to a follow-up with my primary care physician, she basically just came in and said, "Yes, young lady, you have diabetes." So immediately she put me on medication for diabetes, also medication for elevated cholesterol. And my body just never does well with, medications. It just never responds well. I end up getting sicker afterwards, and that's exactly what happened. Actually, I had my heart started racing even more, and my anxiety got worse, and I couldn't really sleep well, and it was scaring the mess out of me because I know that's not how my body usually functions. And my glucose level went down a little bit, but not significantly. So when I went back for a follow-up, she wanted to increase the diabetes medication, and I told her I had to stop taking the cholesterol medication because of my heart racing. So she was okay with that. But then she wanted to put me on a keto diet. So my only issue with that was I had just told her that I was increasing my protein, trying to use plant-based protein, but I kept getting bloated, and to the point where I knew I wasn't releasing any of the foods that I was taking in. So my colon was just getting blocked, and that didn't help either. And then my joints were still hurting more. So I just knew I needed something different. Something wasn't right with what I was taking into my body. And I still hadn't figured out how to manage the stress because, I did whatever typical methods you would do, meditation, yoga, what have you, but I'd be so exhausted when I woke up in the mornings that I couldn't get back into my yoga routine. So basically I had mentioned that, my doctor wants to put me on medications, and a good friend of mine told me to check out the DYL Method. So I went to the link, and I was just excited by the testimonials that I read on the site. That already had me convinced, because every story I could relate to, or at least I knew someone who could relate to those stories about different health issues that came up, or just wanting to live a healthier lifestyle. I could definitely identify with that. So I said, well, let me try it. Let me get a consultation. And From the first time that I had spoken with Dr. Quilla and with Senna, Coach Senna, I was more than impressed. I felt like I was speaking to family. They were just very real with me. And what I appreciated was that I really started to understand immediately what was going on in my body. And that's what I look for. I want to understand what's the root of the problem so I can know how to fix it or know how to work around it or whatever needs to be done. And that's what I found to be so wonderful about this program is that, you know, you meet like-minded people who are really working towards the same goal. You know, we all want to be healthier. We all want to live better lives and try to be around as long as we can to see our children. And if we have grandchildren or have potential grandchildren, you know, see them thrive. And we also want to, you know, get our families on board to be healthier too. So I'm not a health nut. I'm not going to claim to be, because honestly, I was one who I used to be for a period of time, about 20 something years ago. And then I just started giving into my cravings, but I also didn't understand why I was getting these cravings. I just gave in. But now I also understand that better as well. So just being informed helps me to live a better life. It gives me peace of mind. And no exaggeration, by day 3 on the DYL method, I didn't have any of those symptoms that are associated with diabetes. I had no excessive thirst. Actually, I was satisfied with the meals that I had, and I was very well hydrated. I didn't have as much, the urge and frequent urination also that comes with diabetic symptoms. I went normally. I also had some problems with constipation for years. Couldn't find out what this gastrointestinal problem was. It was just like this vague phrase that each medical professional I went to kept throwing around, and no one could tell me on all the scans that they had taken what was going on in my body, especially in my intestines. And all they could tell me was there was a blockage. And I'm saying, well, what is the blockage? So no answer for about 6 years, probably. I was struggling trying to find out what was wrong with my colon, what was wrong with my body. So there were just multiple benefits within the first week of starting the DYL method. Like I said, I didn't have the excessive thirst. I didn't have the fatigue either. So my energy levels started improving within that first week. And I was able to sleep better by the second week. I just stopped worrying about things. You know, I felt like I could not, like, actually was more productive through my work day every day. And when I laid my head down to rest, I actually rested. I woke up feeling refreshed. Before I even started the DYL method, I want to say from about the end of December to April, when I was given this diabetes diagnosis, not only was I losing sleep, when I was at work, I couldn't focus very well. I had about 2 hours maximum time of clarity of thought and energy to get through my workday. And I should back up and I should say I'm a physical therapist. So it's everything I do is very physical. I have to be on my feet a lot. I have to think on my feet, doing a lot of typing. I have to make sense to my clients. I have to explain to them what's going on with their bodies. But here I am struggling myself just to have enough energy to make sense and even to physically get through my day and lift people and, you know, demonstrate exercises to them. So it was just crazy. It was kind of insane. And I said, something's got to give. So those were some immediate benefits. And actually, I would say by week 3 or so, I didn't have the cravings that I used to. Actually, I don't think I had any cravings at all, if I can remember correctly. Well, I started craving good stuff, if you want to call that craving. So that was the fun part of it. The other thing is, you know, we have a wonderful supportive community, and I just call them family. You know, I have this wonderful new extended family who I can relate to, who, you know, will share their experiences and help me learn to grow as well. Not just with eating right, but just as a person. And everyone's very encouraging to continue working at, you know, your dreams. There are some things that I noticed that myself and some of our other community members have not been able to accomplish, partially because we had issues like I had: low energy, poor clarity of thought, having a hard time organizing yourself, organizing your day, organizing your time. And you just don't realize how much your eating habits and your lifestyle contribute to, you know, your difficulty in making progress with what you want to accomplish in life. And that's another part of what I was going through that I couldn't figure out. For years, I even thought that I might have had some undiagnosed learning disability or adult ADHD, or, you know, whatever they want to call it. But all of a sudden that wasn't an issue. You know, I mean, it's taking time, but I can definitely say that, like I said, by that first week, I had more clarity of thought. And by about the fourth week, my energy was off the chain. I mean, I was getting on my 17-year-old daughter's nerves. I would jump up early in the morning, jump on her bed like a big kid. And she's like, "What is wrong with you? I'm not a morning person. Why are you bothering me?" She's like, "Okay, I kind of want the old you back. I want you healthy, but I don't want you all energetic like this. It's too much." And I want to say by about week 5, my daughter she came downstairs one morning. She took a look at me and said, "Wait a minute, Ma, what's going on? Why are you looking younger and younger?" She said, "I'm gonna lock you up in the house because I don't want these men coming after you." And I said, "You're a hater," but anyway. So now I really get on her nerves because every week I look at her and say, "Do I look younger? Do I look younger now?" She has to admit that, yes, literally every week I'm looking younger and younger and younger. So I don't care about people asking me my age. I am proud to say I'm 45. I'm going to be 46 this year. And people think I'm in my 20s now. So I'm enjoying that. You know, I'm not bragging, but I'm enjoying it. You know, I'm trying to think there are so many benefits to being in this program. I mean, everyone is just wonderful. And when we have our group meetings in the community, we have actual education sessions. So we are able to ask any questions we need to ask. And like I said, you know, we're learning about how to live well, not just with how to eat well, but how to live well. And, you know, there's no shame. I mean, there's no judgment, you know, because we're all going to struggle with something. We're all going to struggle with either cravings or trying to break out of certain habits of things that we might do in routine, or even things that we might eat or drink. And even when we learn that something is not necessarily healthy for us, we start falling back into those patterns. Yeah, Dr. Quilla and Coach Senna especially, will be on top of it if you start backsliding. But I appreciate that because I just need that. Sometimes you just need that push. You know, not everybody's a self-motivator. And even when you are a self-motivator, you still need extra input to help keep you on track. Because I mean, we're human, so we're gonna fall off track in some kind of way, but it's easier to get back on track when you have that kind of support. So I have to say, this is the greatest support system that I've really ever had when it comes to wellness. You know, often, you know, you want to call your doctor and ask a question like, "Why am I getting this weird pain here," whatever, and you really can't get to the doctor. I don't know about anybody else, but it's really hard getting to my primary care physician, even to get through to the nurse, because they're so busy, and then they have, you know, certain office hours. But the benefit of, you know, our program is, you know, you have multiple means of communication, And, you know, even if it's a weird hour, you can always just kind of leave a message, and then, you know, you get a response quickly. I have to say, I get a response quickly. I mean, I haven't had any medical emergencies personally, but I know I can count on Dr. Quilla and Senna, you know, at least informing me of, you know, what's a true emergency if I really did need to go to the doctor or the ER or, you know, what have you. But I just haven't had that issue. But I know that, you know, I've heard in discussion with other community members when there are things that we just don't know about certain foods or certain herbs or certain exercises. You know, when you're not certain about what's safe for you, you definitely have people who are reliable and are actually teaching you how to learn this information and how to find the information as well. The DYL is the best. Oh, and how could I forget? Because I'm sitting here sipping sipping one of these wonderful teas. So, how do I start on the teas? There are these wonderful, amazing teas in our tea club that have also helped to improve my health status. One of the things that I suffered with for, I believe, since I was about 10, that's when I was diagnosed with seasonal allergies. And it was torture. It was torture for, 35 years. I couldn't enjoy being outside in the spring and the summer, but especially in the spring. And I grew up in New York, so usually my allergies would just bother me in the spring, and then about early fall or something, I don't know, they say it's ragweed or something that's out in the air. But I mean, I would sneeze ridiculously. And, you know, allergies since I was 10, and growing up in New York, it wasn't as bad because typically I'd have the sneezing and coughing and puffy eyes and everything around spring and a little bit of fall. And then had this lovely idea to move to Georgia in early 2000, and it just was worse. It was just about year round. And then it just got progressively worse. So by the time I was in my late 30s, early 40s, I was basically living on Zyrtec, Claritin, whatever, I don't know, whatever worked during that time or seemed to work during that time, I had to pop those pills just about every single day. So I have no idea what I did to my liver and my kidneys after that. I mean, we're talking at least over 20 years of being on allergy medication. Well, my point was, I'm just get right to it. So there is this one particular tea called the Breath of Life respiratory tea that I tried, and thank God I got into the DYL method right on time, because that was the next tea that was that we had for the Tea of the Month Club. I want to say actually it was May, because I joined right in May. So when I started drinking the tea, I didn't even pay attention to how well it was working. But then it dawned on me. I said, okay, let me just test it out. I stopped taking Zyrtec and I stopped taking Claritin. Yeah, I was taking 2 different allergy medications at the same time every day. I stopped taking it and I just drank the tea. And just drinking the tea one time a day cleared up so much, cleared up my sinuses. I mean, when I tell you I had sinus drainage like crazy, I had a sinus infection probably about once a year for 3 years at this point. Well, no more of that. I stood outside one day because I just wanted some sun. And I stood outside for about 10 minutes straight. And that was still the springtime. So that's normally when my allergies would have been at its worst. Well, this particular day, I had already stopped taking allergy medication for about a week at that point. And I may have only had that tea, the Breath of Life tea, for about 3 days straight. But That day I wanted to stand in the sun for about 10 minutes, no problems, no sneezing, no coughing, no itchy throat. I was able to get a lot of mucus out. I had a lot of mucus drainage. So the tea helps to drain mucus. I don't want to sound too nasty, but everywhere you could imagine. All I know is I could breathe. So I definitely had the sinus drainage, and instead of my sinuses draining and just the mucus sitting there, I was actually getting it out for a change. My skin started clearing up because I started breaking out little bumps, and I started getting, little eczema patches on my face. And oh my God, they're gone. I just now noticed they're completely gone from my cheeks. Shoot, I don't even know when that happened. At this point, I'm like, clearly this is working. It's all I'm saying. It works. And what matters to me is that it works. I love it. I have my skin back. That might be the other reason why I'm looking younger every week. But yes, I'm like, I love that tea. I want more. I want to have that tea like every day, the rest of my life. But yeah, what I love too about the DYL method is that it is individualized. It's not a cookie cutter program. Cookie cutter programs don't work for anybody, but they definitely don't work for me. Because I've tried. No, I don't believe in doing diets, and I don't believe in just trying to lose weight to fit into a dress. No offense, if that's what you do, that's cool, but it does not work for me because I know me and food. I love food. I'm greedy. I'm so damn greedy. It's sad. So if I go on a diet and I fit in that dress, after I fit in that dress, it's a wrap. I'm gonna go right back to my potato chips and my French fries and my pizza and all of that stuff. But I just haven't had that desire to eat all the foods that were causing me to have all the sinus congestion and all the tummy aches and the bloating and the constipation and cramping and all this other stuff that was going on. And cramping, oh my God, how could I even forget that? So another thing that has gone away, I want to say about 2.5 to 3 years ago, I did start what was a successful weight loss and fitness program for a while, but it got to a point where it just wasn't working for me anymore. And I didn't know why. Now I understand it was because of my mindset, my lifestyle, and especially my eating habits. They still weren't lining up with what my body needed at that time. And I started getting horrible muscle spasms. Okay, so my memory, I forgot. Actually, I was rear-ended in a car accident that year, 2017. That's what happened. So after I was rear-ended in this car accident, I kept getting muscle spasms from the base of my skull all the way down to my tailbone. And it was just random. So again, I'm a physical therapist now. So sometimes I'd be reaching over to help lift the patient and I would get stuck. And that scared the mess out of me. So I had to figure something out. Now I was on muscle relaxants and all kind of stuff. And, if anybody's taken muscle relaxant before, I'm sensitive. Again, I can't take a lot of medications without having some kind of effects. So, I couldn't function at my job and be drowsy. So I had to deal with it. I was taking a leave during the day so that I could stay awake, but then I take those muscle relaxants at night so I go to sleep. And again, I don't know what I did, my kidney and my liver. I don't want to know. All I know is we're working on that now. But ever since then, periodically, especially if I tried to do any kind of weight training, if I tried to do core strengthening where I had to do planks and push-ups, it would set off those muscle spasms again, right from the base of my skull, sometimes just going down to the middle of my back, but it was hell. It was just excruciating. There were days when I would wake up and my whole back would just lock up on me and I couldn't move and I had to just wait until the spasm went away. The last time I can remember having spasms like that, shoot, I don't know. It might have been April, right before I started the DYL method. Nope. I had spasms again in May, but it was very early on. It may have been in that second week of the DYL method, and that was stress, but that has calmed down. Like I said, I've been getting much more sleep. Everything rolls off my shoulders now. People say things and do things and I laugh, and they don't understand why I'm laughing, but I'm happy. I mean, I'm getting a lot of sleep. When I tell you I knock out at night, it's amazing. It's unbelievable how much deep sleep I'm getting now. So I feel revived. I feel blessed. I feel like I'm back on the mend at this point, because I've been able to clean out so well, and yeah, just I'm on the mend. So like I said, I had suffered with anxiety before, and that is rough. I used to hear people describe it, and I didn't recognize it in myself, actually, until sometime last year. And I said, okay, that's what I was going through. There were some times when I would literally just freeze in thought, and I couldn't understand why I had this feeling of doom coming over me and why I kept getting these headaches. I had never had migraines in my life. And somewhere in 2019, I remember I was getting out of my car, walking to work, and before I hit the door, this migraine just stopped me. I couldn't even move, and somehow I made it dealing with the lights, because usually if people have migraines that are really bad, you can't even tolerate the lights being on. You can't tolerate noises. But again, I had to get through my work day, so I had to figure something out. If I only knew what was really going on, and then I could have figured out how to remedy it. But I have not had any headaches anymore. I haven't had the spasms. I'm able to start exercising again. Another thing, I have scoliosis. I have so much going on. I have scoliosis. Now, what scoliosis is actually you have a spine curvature that's abnormal, and my spine is in the shape of an S curve. So I found that out freshman year of high school, and the reason I found that out is because as a freshman, I wanted to be physically active, and I started running track, and I just kept getting these back pains. And my dad kept saying, that doesn't sound normal for someone so young, for your back to be aching like that just from exercising. It's supposed to make you feel better. And I was like, I don't know. So we went to the doctor, and come to find out I had scoliosis. And the only cures, if you want to call it, that we were informed of at that time, I was 14. Yeah, I was 14 years old. The only thing that they told me I could do was wear a back brace. And I basically, people made fun of me. They called me Voltron and, Ninja Turtle, whatever, because it really looked like a big shell all around me. So 14-year-old girl in high school, that was not fun. I had braces on my teeth and a big back brace. But that was the only way that they said that they could help to not completely straighten my spine, but correct my spinal curvature. And so I wore that brace all through high school up until freshman year of college. Thank God I got that mess out of the way. All I know is I don't have those pains anymore. I'm excited. I would love to find out what my spinal curvatures look like now. I'm pretty sure it's great, because when I look in the mirror, before I could see one shoulder was higher than the other, and I already see a difference now. It sounds crazy, but I think it's curable. And I was able to escape surgery. Thank God I didn't get surgery back then, because I wouldn't have known any better. I wouldn't have known that it could have been corrected with just changing, my lifestyle. Just that simple. What else is wrong with me? Let me see. My vision. Oh, okay. So let me tell you about that. Another thing I was in denial about, with, my checking my glucose levels and everything. I really wasn't checking it for years because I just didn't want to know, honestly. I went to get these glasses, I want to say about 2 years ago. Yeah, about 2 years ago. And when I went, I was saying to the doctor that, I want LASIK surgery. I'm tired of glasses. I've been wearing glasses since I was 4 years old. And he said, oh, okay. And I said, yes, so come on, sign me up. Let's do this. And he said, okay, well, I need you to fill out this questionnaire. And then he saw on the health survey that I put that my current doctor at that time said that I was pre-diabetic. And so he was hesitant to have me get this LASIK surgery because if it was due to diabetes, then I wouldn't be a good candidate for the surgery. So I ignored him. I didn't want to believe that I was going to have diabetes and I wanted my LASIK surgery, but I gave up. I just said, you know what, don't worry about it. But what I noticed was since 2 years ago, my vision actually got worse. I got more blurred vision. So then the fear starts setting in because I'm thinking, oh my God, maybe he's right. Maybe I really have diabetes. So now my vision's getting worse. Well, it really didn't get any better since 2 years ago until about early June or so. I started noticing that I didn't have as much blurred vision. So when I say I have blurred vision, I mean, I could see with my glasses on up close. I could read, whatever I needed to look at. I could look at the computer and read things, but my eyes, they get tired by a certain time of the day and I couldn't, the words weren't as clear. But when I looked at the highway signs, so I didn't tell my family this because they probably would have told me you can't drive. But when I looked at the highway signs, I could not see them clearly, even in the daytime. I also developed light sensitivity, but one doctor was trying to tell me, oh, with your age, that's going to happen anyway. And I ignored her too, because I didn't want to hear nothing about my age. I said, I was only 30 something at the time too. So I really wanted to smack her, but I didn't. So I couldn't see the highway signs as clearly, like I said, up until about the beginning of this year. But amazingly, even my vision is getting clearer. And I mean, like I said, I've worn glasses since I was 4 years old. So I'm that person who, as soon as I wake up in the morning, I'm grabbing my glasses and I'm putting on my face immediately. I don't even do that now. Now I'm walking around, in surroundings that I'm familiar with, of course. I don't do this at work, but I foresee me getting to that point. But in the morning now, I do not reach for my glasses right away. I make sure that I keep my glasses off while I'm getting ready in the morning. So I have a good hour of walking around without my glasses. And I noticed that each time I could see even better and clearer. And then once I got outside with my glasses, I could read the highway signs better. So the letters are starting to be clear. I'm having more acuity of vision. It's just amazing. I'm just excited. Like I said, look at how good my skin. Dang, my skin is so smooth. This is crazy. I'm excited. I'm loving it. The DYL method is literally a lifesaver. It's a lifesaver. I don't know how else to put it. And like I said, it is individualized. So the meal plans are individualized and the food actually is delicious. You get recipes, you get suggestions, you get a variety of options of how to plan your day. And, it's funny because I've had, a couple coworkers and friends say, oh, I don't want to do all this extra, I'm like, there's actually no extra work. It's the same amount of time and prep. Actually, I have less prep time in preparing my meals following the DYL method than I did, traditionally cooking how I used to. And people know people that know me when I'm in the kitchen, I take half the day to prepare food. So I think my daughter's a little happier too now that I'm on the DYL method, because she doesn't have to wait forever for her mommy to finish cooking dinner. So it's just, there are these simplified methods of changing your lifestyle and changing your eating habits that's way more pleasurable. So, you know, I mentioned that the educational piece of the program is just amazing. You know, I'm learning so much. I'm learning so much more about what's healthy and, you know, basically why I'm eating the way I'm eating. And what I mean by that is, you know, a lot of times we're just eating based on taste, or we're eating based on habit from, you know, what we grew up eating. But, you know, why am I eating this particular food, and what is it doing for me? I'm the kind of person that needs to know that. Some people may not really care, but they really want to look at the results of what they're doing. I want all, I want everything. I want to know why I'm doing this, what's the purpose, how is it working, what is it looking like inside my body, what's it gonna look like outside my body, what's it gonna look like later on down the road, and what's this gonna do for me? I want details. So as a physical therapist, there are, you know, medical terms that we need to know. There are, you know, things about nutrition that we need to know. There are things about movements and how the organs are working in the body and everything we need to know. But at the same time, there are very technical details that go over my head. So what I found with the DYL method was that they provide these educational formats that are very, very, very easy to understand. And even if there's something you don't understand or don't remember, because I forget a lot, you can always ask for clarification. And when I tell you the clarification of the clarification is the bomb diggity, it is amazing, it's wonderful. You know, I've worked with adults and children with special needs, and with that, I've had to learn how to address different learning styles. And that's important too. So in the video formats, or I should say in the educational videos, and also the other educational materials, everything is laid out very well. The format's easy to follow. You know, technology is used very well. It's user friendly, and it's very interactive. You know, there's no one way that Dr. Quilla and Coach Center are teaching us what we need to know and understand about how to eat to live, basically. And I'm just in love. I mean, you have animated videos so that it can be appealing to children and adults. And again, children and adults can understand the information. It's something easy for you to teach back to your own family, because that should be the goal in this too, is not just to do this for yourself, but to share this with your family so that you can thrive together. And that's what I found to be easy about it. I can just easily explain to anyone why what I'm doing is working. Because a lot of people are looking at me now and saying, oh my God, Loretta, you lost so much weight, or you look younger, or, you know, I'm gonna keep saying that, you look younger, or, you know, what are you doing different? What's going on? And it's amazing how, you know, people who haven't known you for that long, they may have only known you for the past few years, or they only know you from work or what have you, they don't even realize how, you know, what size you really should be, what's your normal stature. And I've had so many people say to me that, you know, I thought you were slim already. I didn't even think that you could have lost that much weight. I lost a total of, it might be more now, let me think back. I lost 25 pounds now. I was gonna say 22. I've lost 25 pounds now. So I'm only 5'2". Again, I have no shame. I said I'm 45. I say it again, I'm 45. I'm only 5'2", and I've gotten up to 160 pounds at one point. And that does not feel good on my poor little joints. It doesn't feel good at all. When I started on the DYL method, I believe I was about 154 or 155. And that was pretty scary. That no wonder, my doctor says, you have diabetes and high cholesterol, and I'm gonna put you on some meds. Because she probably thought I was about to stroke out, and I probably was. Oh yeah, my blood pressure was elevated too. So, and that wasn't normal for me. I never had a blood pressure problem until this year, when I just got stressed and lost my mind eating whatever was in front of me. So getting all of that under control is important for a control freak like myself. I don't like being controlled by anything or anybody. So even having the weight issue that I couldn't control, or having the stress get to me to the point where I felt out of control was a big deal. It was a problem. So when I weighed myself the other day, I was 124 pounds. So, it's amazing. And I don't look sickly. So that's the other thing, the misconception that we have. Oh my goodness, I lose all this weight, I'm going to look ill. I'm going to, look like I have a disease or something like that. Like, no, I'm not getting that from anyone. Actually, people are excited with me about the weight loss, because they know it's not just about trying to look cute. It's not just about looking thinner. It's actually about being healthy. And they see my happiness, my joy. They see the glow. They're actually not even associating the stress reduction with how I'm eating. I keep telling them, like, literally, that's all I'm doing. I'm just eating better, and then they'll say, I don't see you eating. No, I eat, but I'm actually full. I'm full because I'm actually getting the nutrients in my body. It's absorbing into the cells like they're supposed to, whereas before I kept shoveling food down and getting these cravings because my body couldn't even absorb the nutrients. They were all being blocked. But lo and behold, I'm getting my nutrients. And, now I don't have a whole lot of gobble tomorrows like I used to. I'm starting to get my muscle tone. Let me move the braids out the way. I'm starting to get my muscle tone back. I'm excited. I'm loving this. And there's just more to come. I'm excited to see what more is going to happen on this journey. And that's what it's a journey for me. This is a lifestyle change. This is not a diet by any means. This is not, I'm only going to do this for about a month until, this happens, or I go to this event. No, this is for life. The DYL for life. That's it. That's it for me.